Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Red for Anfield Index. Just over 24 hours out, aren't we, people? History beckons. It's just exciting. It's just brilliant. And in fact, even as we sit here on Saturday afternoon, you shouldn't wish your life away, but you want it to be tomorrow because, like me, you should absolutely be buzzing, like a greyhound ready to whip round that track. Liverpool are on the brink of history tomorrow. 1 point will mean they are crowned champions. And I have showed it about 80 billion times on this show, and I apologise not even once. For those that can see it, the Premier League table is on your screen. I'm your normal host, Dave Davis, coming to you from pretty cold and gloomy Edinburgh. But on the weekend, no one cares. And you know what we're going to do on Daily Red? We'll talk through all the latest stories from today, set up tomorrow, and everything around that as well. And even today, we have to fast forward to tomorrow, don't we? Liverpool versus Spurs, 4:30. Been a funny build-up for this one. Arne Slot's press conference for those who talked to or seen it, or he talked about Darwin Nunez and a clause. We have to talk about Darwin Nunez today. And Postecoglou renounced all fact he could be a Liverpool fan and said he was when it was a kid, mate, and not to worry. So we'll talk about Spurs as well. But 1 point. 1 point will do this. And the gap between us and second place Arsenal, who one swipe of social media just shows their obsessional nature with us. I can't really describe it as anything else, but just 1 point, 80 points will be enough to guarantee the trophy comes back to Anfield for a 20th time. We literally are on the brink of history. And with this game, ladies and gents, I mean, I'm going to be honest about this. I predicted on post-conference presser yesterday, 3-0, Liverpool to win. Spurs have got their Europa semi-final first leg in the week. That is where all their focus is. And for those who caught a bit of Ange's press conference, he did kind of intimate that a little bit as well. So it does have to be mentioned. And I know people will say you're tempting fate. So cross my fingers, touch wood and everything. We are going to win the Premier League tomorrow. I'm going to be there at Anfield early. It's going to be just a brilliant day, a brilliant occasion, and just the emotion they let off at full time. You can taste Sunday already, can't you? It is going to be absolutely brilliant. And all the other football that's on today, like Chelsea, Everton, and FA Cup semi and all that, just watch it relaxed if you enjoy football. But it is all about us. It is all about tomorrow. And a little plug for us here, but when tomorrow comes, you know what it's going to be. I know you can see it on your screen there. You'd have to go to the Anfield Index website officially, but glorify your shirts with the gold Premier League badges. Now, these are iron on, ladies and gents. These are in stock currently. I'll repeat that again. In stock currently, because I know people are starting to pick these up and quick. Player, adult, and youth sizes. So you can order those $8.99 each, free UK and worldwide shipping. Have a look there on the link. You can see it on my screen. You can go on the website. You can see it through Etsy as well. But how good is that gold Premier League badge going to look on your kit? Do you know what? Even if you add it to this year's kit or next season's kit, just get them. I promise you, these are going to go quickly. Get them while they're hot, as they say. So, yeah, big things coming up today, tomorrow, and something for you to order right now. But it is Daily Red. So we look at the headlines that are going on today, what's being called for. A lot, as you can imagine, is around the game tomorrow. As it says, Liverpool focus on the title. Dave and Carl were talking on Scouted about there isn't really anything to stop Spurs being beaten again. So a full breakdown of the match there as well and the Spurs analysis. But to be honest, maybe the one little bit of, I don't know if you want to call it sad news, maybe just stupidity from Darwin Nunez. I am sure you clocked it this morning or you've heard about it. Most of social media has. Darwin Nunez and what he tweeted out from his official account, and then wisely, quickly deleted, however foolishly, put it out in the first place. So he tweeted this morning, which translated about 10 a.m., which translated as, "No wonder I didn't play more, because the last game I started in the Premier League went well, and suddenly, ... Suddenly, Darwin, it's hard to know what to say with this, isn't it? In all honesty, I can see the chat panel's got some thoughts on it. Stupidity, idiocy, on the verge of such a big game. And I've seen a few tweets or references saying, well, Ollie Watkins, I think, did the same for it. No, he didn't do it in this way. He talked about how he was hungry. He talked about how he wanted to play. He was frustrated and he let Unai Emery know, but he wanted to do things in the right way. Darwin Nunez is not doing things in the right way. This tweet you think about the report the other week, isn't it? Where, Arne Slot said in the press conferences, he protected him in all honesty. And then he mentioned in his embargo that he just, mentally and that aspect we talked about, is it mental health possibly? Is he mentally not there or checked out even? But did say it wasn't injury, did say, it wasn't necessarily illness, despite that initial report. A lot of people like David Lynch on Media Matters said they didn't buy it as well. This is just stupid from Darwin, isn't it? No, I actually think, and I could be wrong on this, but I think he will be in the squad tomorrow, people. I think he'll be in the squad to almost protect his value. Asset management, as they call it, asset protection. If he wasn't in the squad, you could well understand it. And he's put out another tweet this morning, if you want to go and take a look. I'm not going to put that one on the screen, where he's all smiles and, cat's out the bag, Darwin. The horse is bolted, whatever platitude you wish to use. This was just not something anyone needed at all. It doesn't taint it because it's still all about us and the celebration, but I completely understand those fans who are now in the camp of, as many people are tweeting, don't let the door hit your arse on the way out. I get that now as well. It does feel like someone just needs to get around him and saying, you go in Darwin this summer anyway. Everyone knows that. Don't sour it. Don't sour it for the club and the fans and how they remember you. Don't, come across as a problem character. Again, in Saudi, where you suspect he's going to end up, maybe that doesn't matter too much. But yeah, the Darwin news, there we go. Other news that's coming up, this one. This Dean Huijsen whole saga, scenario, however you wish to describe it. As the headline says there, Liverpool are the favourites to sign 50 million Dean Huijsen. Everyone knows he's got that clause in his Bournemouth contract. Everyone knows there's clubs who want to trigger that. The three being Liverpool, Arsenal and Chelsea. It does seem from all the reports that Chelsea are Liverpool's biggest rivals. Now, there's different reports. So you can choose what you want to believe. And I suspect Liverpool fans and Chelsea fans will steer into ones that suit them. That if you want to believe Matt Law in The Telegraph, who says Chelsea are favourites, not being derogatory, but a journalist that writes about Chelsea. We'll also look at Alex Crook at TalkSport that says Liverpool are the favourites. Lewis Steele said Chelsea and Liverpool are the front runners. We said this on the transfer show the other night. Donny Huijsen, the dad, wants Dean to join Liverpool. Ali Barat, the advisor, wants Dean to join Chelsea. Mainly because the contract, the fee, the relationship he has with Bagali and the other Chelsea group, and numerous impacts on signings, etc. It isn't really that complicated. At some point, though, young Dean has to make a call and make a decision, doesn't he? Where are you going? Are you going for the Chelsea bag, that long-term contract? Bit of a club that's a mess, but bigger wages. They're going to give him bigger wages than we will offer. Or do you want to come to us? And people will then talk about, will he get minutes, his pathway? But it's clear Liverpool want him, and it's clear they've made that pitch to him that he will get those minutes as well. That there's a reason why Dean Huijsen, his dad, is leaning towards Liverpool. But as David Ornstein mentioned the other day, no one knows yet. Everyone who tells you, he's you could speak to someone in that camp and get told one thing. You speak to another person, and you take of it what you will. The one interesting thing that seems to be coming out is, Newcastle are well out the race now. They kind of have moved away, given up. Arsenal don't seem very prevalent in this either. I always wondered with Arsenal at the same time that Gabriel Saliba, is it Kiwior now starting to come in? So you wondered, where would Huijsen fit in there was a question mark. So they don't seem to be mentioned. The reason I've got this screen up more than anything is I'm just going to be completely honest about this. I want Huijsen to join Van Dijk and Konate and a 4 centre-half. That's a good summer for me, a brilliant summer in terms of the central defensive unit. Then I'm looking and thinking we are really strong. Okay? A fifth one, people will argue, and I get that, but again, it's hard. It's too much to go into on one pod. But the Joe Gomez situation, he clearly doesn't fancy Jarell Kwanzaa. Gomez expected to be off. There's many things, but essentially real starting options, I think that Slot fancies. That's what I want it to be. Konate, Van Dijk, Huijsen competing each game. The big worry at the moment, and we've said it before, is all the news we're getting, all the info, or everything you can see as well when we're chasing it, doesn't seem to be much progress around Ibou Konate. Now, Ibou's got 12 months left to go in the summer, as we know. I mentioned on the transfer show, and a lot of people didn't listen and just gave me a state, which is fair enough. It's all opinions. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But I said clearly, I want both. So I say that again. But I trade the signature of Huijsen to keep Konate. For me, it's more important that we re-sign Ibou Konate than Dean Huijsen. Really is. Especially because we are now milking the last prime years out of Virgil and Mo. You've got to make sure that there's elite people around them. Huijsen is a talent, great potential. We could talk about him all day. We've done numerous shows and analysis on Dean Huijsen. But right this moment, he is considerably below Konate. Right this moment. So if he starts next season and Konate's gone alongside Van Dijk, it is a weaker central defence and a defensive unit. That is what I believe wholeheartedly. The ceiling for Huijsen is huge. Who knows what he could be? He's a young centre-half developing. There's a reason why all these clubs want to pay 50 million quid to Bournemouth and get it done. But yeah, it's maybe a reason why I'm not struggling to get excited. But as much as everyone's involved in this Huijsen race, and I want us to win it, but I want us more to renew Ibou. Whether you agree with that or not, it is what it is. That, for me, is the priority at centre-back. Now we've renewed VVD. We will see what develops there. Other fullback links. Not a new one. Wesley Flamingo. Why am I mentioning him? As in a few articles had, his agents were in London the other day, linked with Liverpool, linked with Manchester United as well, the Flamingo right back. An interesting one because shout out to Tom Robertson, who does a lot of our South American pods, because we spoke to him about Wesley, and what he said is developing well, a talent ready for the move to Europe. However, at this moment in time, because of the crossover from South America and where he is, he'd have thought more at a mid-level to Europa team rather than being a Liverpool right back right now. Now, suggestions are the transfer fee for this guy is around 25 to 30 million. 21 years old, so young, still developing. Everyone loves a Brazilian fullback, as people will always look at. But when you look at him on FBref, and when we've dug and asked around like we have on him, it is a little bit apples and oranges. Let me just say that it's difficult to compare, the Premier League to the Brazilian league, Serie A. So people will jump on that. I get it as well. People will look at a few games in the Copa Libertadores as well, and we all know about that competition, how well Flamengo have done in recent years as well. However, look at the sample size that you're working off if you look at FBref here. I mean, it's below 600 minutes. So all those things have got to be shouted out before we even start. However, at a quick glance, there's things to like and probably things that you'd question. All the things you question naturally, as we've just mentioned, but decent aerials, 83rd percentile. Interceptions, which we look for, 82nd, strong in the tackle. That's not necessarily what's asked of our fullbacks, as we've said before on transfer market metrics, but that's positive. Gets high up the pitch, doesn't he? 99th percentile, progressive passes received per 90, 9.62. And yes, get it out your system. You'll be saying per 90 is doing a lot of heavy lifting in limited sample size, just to mention it again. Successful take-ons, though, 90th percentile. Pass completion, decent. It's 93rd percentile, which sounds great. 84.7 is a little bit below what Liverpool fullbacks are asked to normally do in a slot system when you look at the analysis, but it's worth mentioning. Shot creating actions as well. 88th percentile, about 3 a game. That's positive. The only thing I'm just going to call out here, assists, 0.09. Ugh. So that is, if you're honest, not the best. I know I might say 56th percentile, but it's below on the other side, Costas. You could argue he's creating shot creating action, so maybe his forwards aren't taking the chances. That's something. I don't watch Flamengo enough to know. But again, just on the couple of South America people that we spoke to are saying, a good, a talented, do they think he's ready to start for Liverpool as right back in the Premier League? That was the specific question. We asked 2 of them. Both came back, no. So maybe just something to consider. Maybe it could be a move that they alternate, and we know about Conor Bradley's minutes. But the one thing I would say is a lot of people are positive in the sense that the kid's got talent and ability to start for Liverpool. No was the answer we got back. So we'll see if anything develops there as well. Mentioned on the brink of history, there's a couple of other things that it's worth reading and watching. We like to give you a bit of everything on Anfield Index. So this is a great article to read. Lewis Steele, it's a free one in the Daily Mail. As he said, spent a day walking around Liverpool talking to the fans about what tomorrow means. I've read it. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant, this article. Well worth a read just to gear up. If you're a podman or YouTube or visuals, this one. Arne Slot was on Men in Blazers. And they're not the longest sort of shows, are they? But they're absolutely brilliant. For when you can get the right one, I'll say that. Some of them are great, depends which person. But this one for Arne Slot, it's about him specifically and how, I'm still a dad. I won't give too much away, but it is a really good one to watch. And I enjoyed this one. Won't show too much more before we get any copyright issues that way as well. But what about AI content coming up that's already out there for yourselves? Even in the last 24 hours or so, we had the talk of the striker race, LeBron and his secret recovery method, get a word out, on Daily Red. We had fullback analysis, Bradley or Trent, Ross, Robbo and Costas, left back, right back, how it is right now. Busting a few myths, I think it's fair to say, me and Bart's that we're hearing as well. We also even looked at targets of the left back. Kirkes feels nailed on, doesn't he? Almost a certainty. But Carreras at Benfica, another one we ran him alongside. Both are an improvement, but I know which one I'd prefer. And even on the right back, Martin Fernandez and Jairo Reed, Porter on Feyenoord, respectively, we had a full look at them. I know, as we said, Dave and Carl did the full AI Scouted on Spurs and ran the full analysis there. And also on Daily Red, Dave alluded to that Lewis Steele article about players that Liverpool could sign and chatted through the upcoming summer window and his thoughts. So an absolute raft of material, audio, visual, whatever you want there, ladies and gents. And even tomorrow coming up, you know how it's going to work. We'll have Jack doing the build-up. There'll be the Gags Tandem show. I think afterwards, I know Gags is at Anfield like me, so I'm sure someone will be covering on that. And you'll have the Raw Boys as well. Dave, Trev, basking in it. And to be honest, ladies and gents, that's exactly what you should be doing this weekend. It's almost hard not to just steer every single thought you've got to tomorrow, is it? It's natural. Honestly, legs are twitching at this, basically. 1 point to win the Premier League. I just can't wait to get down to Anfield. You know, when that coach comes past and the red flares are going and everything else, it's going to be special. Just the build-up outside the ground. The let-off at full time. Spurs will play their part. Don't you worry on that. They'll probably be chanting the Arsenal second ole ole thing, won't they? But Spurs know what the gig is. 3-0, Mo Salah to score. That's what I'm giving you. It's like printing money. Speaking of printing as well, again, these are going to go like hotcakes. The gold Premier League champion badge, we've got them in stock. Players, adults, and youth sizes, $8.99. Free UK, worldwide shipping there as well. When they run out, they run out. But guess what won't run out? The joy for tomorrow. The excitement, the expectation, the brink of history. Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy this weekend. More importantly, enjoy everything to tomorrow because you know what will happen. And ladies and gents, on Saturday, the 26th of April, that was another Daily Red